And with a roller, some people like to have the bridle, and the bridle is basically a little handle that you can grab the roller with, so you don't have to have a load assist, so it's easier to grab. Some people like just the straight wishbone, and some people will tie the wishbone straight directly with 2 knots on each end, so it's real clean. Again, this is preference. There's no right or wrong, really. I personally like the bridles because then it's easy just to grab. Even with gloves on, you can grab that thing and go, and it's a quick load. So tying, you're gonna need wax cord. This is 1.3 millimeter wax cord. Super simple. That's where you're gonna tie your constrictor knot or double constrictor knot. And then you need some Dyneema that is preferably the stiff Dyneema. And this stuff kind of feels a little bit waxy as well, but it's really tight braid, it's really strong, and you can find this a lot of dive shops and even online. A good diameter, the minimum diameter you want to have on this is 1.8. If you can get 2 or 2.2, it's even better. But 1.8 gets the job done. And then this is Spectra. And so Spectra, it's generally used on slip tips. It'll be the same material, but when you open it up, you can see it's all woven and braided together. This stuff just seems to work really well. And this, I believe, is 5 mil. It's just big enough to where you can get your fingers in there and it doesn't like cut into your gloves or cut into your fingers when you're pulling on it. So really the diameter just needs to be bigger than this stuff. Some people will use this as well. So this bridle connection point is only for rollers. And so first thing, you're gonna cut a length. One of the tricks I've done is I created a board. If you're tying a lot of bands, this board gives me all the measurements that I have that I need for tying everything that I do. So this is a typical bridle loop, and I just marked out the lengths that I do for my bands, and I can kind of replicate that over and over.
Perfect.
So you can see kind of where that ends up. And then for the actual wishbone that you're not going to be holding on to, you're going to cut that. And it really doesn't matter what length because you're going to cut it off at the end anyways. But you just need about a foot length. It's about 10 inches for your bridle that you're going to hold on to. That's kind of your point to pull the band back with. And then the actual wishbone is about 14 inches.
Cool.
So you're gonna cut that. So here's how this works. So you start here. You're trying to create a little bit of a loop like this that you can grip into, right? So the knot that works super well that Chris Coates will show you is you do a couple of loops. You keep those loops loose. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back through 2 loops like this, and then you're going to pull it tight. The first one's pretty easy. Pliers help. And you can see it kind of creates that stack of rings. And then you're going to slowly pull that tight. You can kind of get an idea of what that looks like. And then grip it and pull down on there. And what that does is it tightens and keeps this Spectra from sliding through. So you can see it like just as it is, it won't move. So then you come back and create the loop, and you can make that as short as you want or as long as you want, but there's a good amount to where you get 2 or 3 fingers in there like that. And then what you're going to do is start a little bit shorter than you typically would. And you're going to come back and wrap again, the double, like that, and then you're going to come back through all those loops. And slowly, like as you roll it, you'll see it'll start to slowly pull tighter and roll down on there. There you go. So you got a good amount. And at this point, before you pull it tight, you can, lengthen that loop or shorten it if you need to. just to whatever feels good. So now, grip both ends with some pliers and pull as tight as you can. You'll see it'll cinch down really tight on there, and you can't pull that out of there. So now what you're gonna do is cut this off, leave about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. So you cut that and then melt the end of it to where it kind of mushrooms out and gets nice and round and smooth, and you'll see you can kind of just start to smooth that out. That's what you want it to look like. And it doesn't tear up the inside of the band when you put that on there. Okay, so now we're tying the bridle for the roller and continuing to do some constrictor knots. So there we go. Double constrictor. I think I did.
Makes sense, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did that
Okay.